Good afternoon and welcome. And you're watching or you're listening to our Frugal Debt Free Journey podcast. You may know us from YouTube channel Long Run Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Obviously. And today we've got a special treat for you. Actually, I think all of our interviewees that we've done so far have been pretty special, but they all are unique in certain ways. We try not to do the same thing every time. We want to bring some different people on so you can see some different people, get some different ideas, things on how to manage your debt-free journey, your debt-free life. And today is no exception. I think we've really got a great guest today, and we're excited to be able to hear from him. And we're going to bring him on now. It's JB from JB Breaks Free. Going to be joining us today. Let's get him in the studio.
Hey.
There we are. Hey, JB.
How you doing?
Doing good. I like your initials because they're my initials too. So
nice. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you. We've been watching your channel for a while now, and we picked up some tips and some pointers from you on how to do some multi-apping and things like that. So we're excited to hear about how you do things and how you manage that and still work and still work a job at night. So that's pretty amazing. So
by the way, y'all both have the thing in common that you work in restaurants, so there's that similarity.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, I'm more quick service.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So now if you're watching on YouTube, let us know if you've tried multi-apping. That's one of the things that JB does that has helped him to become debt-free and to support his income and support his family. And if you've ever done that, drop us some comments below and let us know how you do that, which apps you're taking advantage of, and how you kind of spread your time in doing that. We'd love to hear those things. So let's just get started. We got a few questions we want to ask you, JB, and if you have anything else you want to share with us, we'd be happy to hear that. But tell us. I didn't add this question in, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, 43. I've been a server. It'll be about 18 years at the restaurant that I work in. And
wow, same restaurant.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Same restaurant, and made it through. Not sure how, but I do love it. And and my days were always open, and I became even aware of financial independence and debt free. And we had a lot of debt at that point. And my wife and I sat down as a team, and we're like, we're going to knock this out. And I started to think that I might need another job. I wanted another job to make some more income and to pay off our debt and to build wealth and to speed up that process. And I thought about maybe working in a liquor store during the day or something like that. Then I started discovering apps, and I decided to just start with Instacart and give that a try. And that really sped up my debt-free journey. And it led me here today. And not only to be debt-free, but to be the best that I could be in all phases of life, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and try to engulf it all into my financial independence journey.
Absolutely. Journey. Yeah, that's great. Now, kind of define it. What is multi-apping? What does that mean?
So multi-apping is going to be where you have several apps working at once. For instance, it could be DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub.
Right.
And then you could take a couple of those orders and pick them up on the way to keep doing your deliveries. So you're not just doing one, maybe $9 delivery or $10 delivery. You can take a couple at the same time.
Okay.
And not only that, if you're just doing DoorDash, it could be slow.
Yeah.
And, you wouldn't have anything else coming in. And I tend to do it more with Instacart and then eventually into Walmart Spark.
Yeah.
Where I would sit there and no Instacart orders would come up, and I would be at the mercy of that app.
Right.
So with multi-apping, you can definitely do more. You get more offers, you get more control, and you get to pick and choose what is best for you, and you can up your hourly income wage.
Okay. Well, let me bounce off that for just a second. Now, if you're doing we ran into this one time. We were doing DoorDash and Uber Eats at the same time. We had them both open at the same time. We got an order from DoorDash and an order from Uber Eats. Now it was good that they both went in the same direction once we
Yeah.
picked them up.
Yeah.
But do you do them like if you're doing DoorDash, you also have Uber Eats open, or so what happens when you get an order from one or the other?
So yeah, I've had some close calls with multi apps. You really got to get your timing down, and
Yeah.
especially the ones I lean towards
Okay.
are more grocery oriented. So
Nice.
Instacart and Walmart Spark deliveries.
Okay.
And I feel like I don't do DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub as much because it's in the morning when I'm typically doing it because I have my
Yeah.
restaurant work at night. So the way I multi-app is I'll have however many apps open, and then when I get the best offer, I'll close them all out, and then I just kind of tend to just do that one. I've done multiple at the same time, but I
Gotcha.
also like to multi-app with just getting 4 offers and taking the best one that's available.
Okay.
And then maybe when you're finishing up, you're driving that Instacart delivery and you know you're going to be done in 5-10 minutes. Then I'll turn on Walmart Spark and give
Gotcha.
myself that heads up or that head start on
Right.
the next gigs being offered to you.
Yeah, because we've noticed a lot of time with Spark is that they'll send you an offer, you accept it, but you may not have to pick it up for 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I've tried to sneak in maybe a quick Wegmans order or a grocery store Instacart order in there, or a food delivery from Wendy's or McDonald's, and try to get that in that pace because Walmart Spark is they have a set time where they typically drop the orders at 25 after. And
Okay.
you typically pick them up at 45 after, 50 after, and then that
Okay.
cycle kind of repeats itself. But I also want to say too that I think you can multi-app outside of just food deliveries, and I think you can multi-app with selling stuff. Like one of my side hustles is flipping. And so
Okay.
I don't just put all my eggs into the eBay basket. I use
Sure.
Mercari, I use
Okay.
OfferUp, I use Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, and I'll
Gotcha.
list an item on all 5 spots. And then once it sells, I'll go to the other apps and then just delete it right off there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And another thing I think it's good for multi-apping and shoppers is receipt rewards apps.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I would just scan, we'll say Fetch Rewards. That's my favorite receipt app. But now I have 4 receipt apps. And so like Receipt Hog, Receipt Pal, Coin Out, and Fetch Rewards. So I'll use all 4 of those again to scan all the receipts that I have and
Sure.
just multi-apping in many different ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I've really thought about the receipt apps as multi-apping, but I guess it is. Chrissy's been doing those for a while. We paid for a lot of our Christmas gifts last year with those receipt
Totally.
those receipt apps.
Yeah, it's great. And just you put all those things into your bundle and you got a lot going on there. There's
Absolutely.
Instead of 3 apps, you got 12 that you can use.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So you told us which receipt app is your favorite. Which one of the Spark or Instacart, any of those apps, which one's your favorite?
Well, I started off with Instacart, and that's
Okay.
all that I knew. And then I'm not trying to keep all my eggs in one basket in many different ways. So I wanted to branch out and see what else that I liked and to fill in the wait times for Instacart. So then I went to Walmart Spark, and I have really started to like that. I feel like the in-store shops, which are kind of rare, but I feel like they pay more. And I feel like the distances are maybe a little bit shorter overall with Walmart Spark deliveries.
Right.
I feel like Instacart maybe takes you a little bit further more often. And I do like the pacing of Walmart Spark where 25 after you can get the order, and then you got 20 minutes to get to Walmart and pick it up. And then by the time you're done, maybe you get that again. You can kind of come home for a second, do what you got to do. And it's not just constantly active. There's a little lull into the action. And I like being outside during the summer. So I wasn't cooped up in the store shopping, for 5 hours. I was in my car. I was driving, listening to podcasts, was able to come home and see the fam in between orders. Yeah. And so I've been leaning towards Walmart Spark lately.
Okay. Yeah, we've been doing a few Spark deliveries here and there. we do like the fact that if you're picking up an order at a Walmart in your area, it's going to stay in that area.
Yeah.
We have a Walmart about 3 miles from where we live, and so we try to pick up off that one, and Sam's right next to it, and it delivers right here around in our area. So
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
I
that
do
is
like
really
that part
nice.
of
As
it.
opposed to, Uber Eats or DoorDash, which may send you
Yes.
10, 15 miles out of the way.
Yeah, same with Instacart. So
Yeah.
I've been liking that pace, and it's not my full-time gig right now. If I was trying to make a living off it, I might want to pick that pace up. But as a side hustle, it's a pretty chill pace, I think, and it keeps you
Yeah.
outside in some sunshine.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And we had one. I don't know if you probably experienced it doing. We went to pick one up. We had a 6:45 pickup for. They had batched 3 orders for us,
Yeah.
and they had the first two. The first two, none of them were ready by 6:45. They had 2 of them ready by 7:15, but we didn't get that third order until about 8:30.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And
it was
yeah,
wild.
it was wild.
Yeah.
They kept saying that they were still working on it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's going to be some disasters coming your way, but you got to kind of dodge them.
Yeah, that's on any app.
Yeah.
Which app do you think gets the best results?
I would say for the food deliveries, and again, like I'm only doing this during the day, so I don't have much knowledge of the food deliveries around dinner time.
Yeah.
But I do think Walmart Spark is
Okay.
going to pay you a little bit more, especially for the in-store shops if you get them.
Yeah.
I do like the triple batch deliveries now, which is kind of bumping up the pay.
Yep.
Their promotions are pretty good. Of course, they're not all going to be good.
Right.
But I do think Walmart Spark for me at this moment is the best. I like Fetch Rewards is the best receipt app.
Okay.
And I think eBay, if you're going to multi-app selling, is still the bread and butter.
Excellent. Excellent. What's a couple of things that you've learned, maybe about yourself, about, just anything in particular about what you're doing with the multi-apping?
Well, I've learned that it empowers me in a way. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But I've learned it pumps me up for my main job. If I can feel productive, during the day, I can roll into my main job and keep that ball rolling. I've learned not to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yep.
Things can happen with eBay. Things can happen with Spark. You get some weird bad reviews on either that aren't necessarily your fault.
Right.
You can improve your skills, your network, your income. I've learned to track your mileage and all that stuff, what you can write off, what you should write off.
Yep.
Right.
And I've learned that it can be a path towards financial freedom and debt free. It actually does work.
Oh yeah, you are the poster boy for that one for sure.
Every order I would be lost in like so much debt, and I'd just be like, this is $20 less that we have to pay. I put every single cent to it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You probably get this question all the time on your channel, but I would like for you to answer it for our viewers as well. So some of them may be interested in kind of starting up multi-apping, doing some food deliveries or grocery deliveries. What advice would you give someone that's wanting to start from scratch? They don't know nothing about the multi-apps, about the apps. What advice would you give them?
I would say just do it. Don't overthink it. And like, I didn't really know where anything was in the store. My wife did most of the shopping. Now I can say I'm the better shopper, but like, you don't overthink it. Just do it. Choose a side hustle that would match your skills and your interest. There's a lot of like dog sitting stuff out there, and people who love dogs, you can multi-app doing that with like Rover and Wag. But as much as I want to do that, that might not be my favorite thing to do. So I like deliveries. I like reselling. Just start small. I remember making my first like $7 to $10. And I was like, geez, I could do this 10 times and have 100.
Right.
And also like know your why. Why are you doing it? And if you choose something that you love, you're not going to burn out, because it is a bit of a slog at times, but like for me, I truly enjoy it. Like I do it every morning. And it just pumps me up. It's given me so much more freedom. It's put me in a position of power with my other job where you can start to set some boundaries and be like, hey, I put myself in this step-free position. I can take a step back from this if I'm not happy and just do gig work, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but also don't just focus on the apps. Like take care of yourself mentally, physically as well, spiritually, emotionally, and then you'll just be a much happier camper while you're doing your multi-apping and your side hustles. Choose what you love and get after it.
That's right.
And just start.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I know a lot of people are probably getting some inspiration from you. I know we have. You're one of the reasons we really started doing a lot more than we have.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, we started Spark after watching his videos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but we just want to thank you again for joining us today. Any last thoughts you want to give us before we sign off for today?
Oh, well, just want to say how happy I am to talk to you guys. I love your channel. There's so many great frugal tips, and I think everyone can benefit from it. I do think there's so much that side hustles can have to offer, and it might not even be one that we mentioned today. I would recommend all of those, but try things. You might not like it. You might make mistakes, but just keep going, and eventually it will become second nature to you, and it becomes a lot easier, and it will truly be worth it.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that with us, JB, and thanks for joining us today. Again, you've been listening to the Our Debt-Free Journey podcast. We hope that you come back again next month on the first Thursday when we share our next podcast video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more frugal content in between. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know you tried the multi-app and which are your favorite apps. Again, thanks to JB for joining us today. Please go over and subscribe to his channel. We're going to link him down in the show notes. Go over and subscribe to his channel, watch some videos, give him some big likes, and let's support him. Let's support him in his journey. Until next time, this is Joel and Chrissy saying, don't forget it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace.